Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you for joining me for today's video. It's going to be something real simple. It's a Captain Marvel review. I'm joined by my co-host today.
Ariel, we're here.
We're here.
Live.
We're live. We saw Captain Marvel.
We did.
So we're just going to dive right into it. So, I guess I'll go first. Forgettable.
Dang, just like that?
Just like that.
Man. Let me start off the bat. Me and him are kind of like the...
polar opposites?
Yeah, we're the angel and the devil on the shoulders, so you'll get a little bit of different perspectives.
So, I thought it was forgettable. Brie Larson is bland as fuck.
Dang, man, it's roasting.
I didn't like... Alright, let me say what I did like, though.
How about we start off with either the cons or pros first?
We'll start with the pros. Let's start with the pros.
Okay, so, when it comes time to me, I'm going to do the cons first and then the pros.
Alright, so my pros... Nick Fury was cool. I felt like he carried a lot of the scenes. One of the Skrull characters. Spoiler alert. We just talk about spoilers.
Alright, so this will be a spoiler review?
This is spoiler review.
Alright.
Talos, I thought he was cool. I thought he was fleshed out quite well. I guess Jude Law's performance was pretty good too. Even though it was kind of predictable. The cat, everyone seems to be liking this cat. The Flarkin stole the show.
I'm a fan.
Visually, I thought when she did use her powers, it looked pretty good. I don't want to say I like that they didn't skimp out on the CGI because on some films they tend to look a little wonky.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like that they didn't. And I felt like they really couldn't just because of her power set, I guess, with her photon blasts and the energy that she emits.
Yeah.
The colors were all very colorful. It was colorful. The story was okay. I thought it was just by the numbers, extremely by the numbers. What else was cool? I think that's really the only thing I really liked, to be honest. Man. Out of the whole movie, and it was kind of long too. It was a little.
Was it long?
It was like a little under 2 hours.
We're gonna have to do a Google check real quick.
Her friend was cool. The other pilot, I liked her. I thought she showed more emotion than Brie Larson did.
The pilot?
Yeah, the other pilot, and I forget her name.
Yeah,
it's been
part of one of my cons is I didn't feel the emotional between the two.
The connection.
I think it didn't work. It didn't work for me.
I thought her pilot friend did a pretty good job of. I felt like being there in the emotionally more than Brie Larson was, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So 2 hours 5 minutes.
Greg Coulson was cool.
Running time.
He was cool. He was only in there for a little bit. But then again, it wasn't really like he was going to be a big part of it in the first place. The chemistry between Nick Fury and Captain Marvel, I felt was a little one-sided, but it could have been better, but it wasn't totally bad, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The sound, I guess, I didn't really pay attention.
The soundtrack or the sound?
No, like the sound design.
Sound design?
I thought was
I'm not at that level yet. Like I can't.
I thought it was okay. I was just disappointed because I wanted to see more of her like powers.
Of her powers, right?
Yeah, because I really felt like the only like big moment was like at the end when she goes and
the last
destroys the last half.
I mean, it is an origin story.
I guess it makes sense. I guess. But I just wished for a little more action. Because like I said, the sound design and the colors of her powers, I thought they were some of the best looking in Marvel. Next to Infinity War, which is...
Like her colors, right?
Yeah.
I thought the movie...
like when she would like wave her arms and all the photon blast.
Yeah.
I want to call them whips because it looks like she would whip. Those look cool.
I'm going to talk about that too on mine.
That looked real cool. I think that's really all I enjoyed about it. Everything else I just thought was kind of lame, to be honest. I didn't like her acting. I didn't like.
Would you recommend someone see this movie in theaters?
If you really, really love Marvel and all it encompasses, I would say yes. But if you have a thought like, oh, like I'll just wait till Endgame, then that's cool. I would say then just don't go watch it.
Like you could skip this movie.
You could skip this movie
and just see Endgame.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I don't know. I think it's worth seeing before Endgame. But you could like if there's not gonna be like a huge like all you need to know is that she's a powerful superhero.
Her and the Endgame connection is obviously at the end in the post credits scene.
Yeah. For sure.
And it kind of sets up like where Endgame should be starting almost.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it, that it kind of gives you a sense and feel of how Endgame is going to start off, at least like what the mood and tone is going to be in the beginning, but who knows.
I didn't like, what else didn't I like? She starts off powerful and she ends up powerful, like what?
Well, she was limited though. She had the limiter.
So what she learned to do was destroy the chip. That's what she learned how to do. What did she learn how to do?
I don't know. She learned how to destroy the. Well, I'm gonna talk about it in my review, so I don't want to like.
No, like
I don't want to answer your question.
Answer my question, because then we can just play off of it. Like, let's be real. I didn't like that. We
can talk about it when I talk about it. How about that?
I didn't like her like flashbacks that she had when it was just like it would cut in the film a little bit. Every now and then it would also, there was like a montage of like all the times that they just told her she couldn't do something. Mm-hmm. There was really it just seemed like they were telling
that was kind of her
she couldn't do anything because she was a girl. That's what they made it seem like.
I don't know if they made it that on the
Bro,
I don't know if that was
just
their
like it was just like, hey, don't do this. Like, what did I say? Don't do this. Like it was like, who was telling her? It looked like her dad.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've only seen the movie once, so we're going off of that.
It's like, what did you learn? I just hope she doesn't come in at the Endgame and like save everybody. Like, I hope she's not a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of people that I've talked to are like worried about the same thing, that she's gonna come in and save the Avengers because she's all powerful.
I don't think she's gonna just save everyone.
I'm sure she'll play a big part.
I think it's still gonna
OP as fuck.
I think she's gonna play a key role, but I think they're still in the mindset of having like, you know, the Avengers work together. They have that storyline with Hulk going.
Bro, she like Jude Law was like, fight me hand to hand, like prove yourself, and she just fucking photon blasts him. Like, what the fuck?
Cause she can.
So now she's just gonna do things cause she can, without any.
Well, I mean, like, dude, they're gonna be facing well, I don't know what Endgame is going to be. I don't know what the big focus on Thanos is, because I feel like it's going to be somewhat of a rescue mission movie. But to be honest, I really don't know how. Like, yeah, she's.
Do you think she could take him on with his full with the gauntlet?
Well, I mean, think about it, dude. Thor
did it.
Thor pretty much already did it.
Yeah, but
he missed. He should aim for that, you know.
Thor has had like 3 movies. I mean, granted, they kind of like retconned his character in Ragnarok because everyone was like, Thor's hard to pull off, and they just made him funny, and now everyone fucking loves Thor.
I mean, I would call that a rebrand, though.
Okay, rebrand him.
Rebranded Thor,
I guess. Misuse of words, my bad. Rebranding him. So we already know he could hold his own against.
But he needed what was it, Stormbreaker?
Stormbreaker.
He needed that.
Stormbreaker.
He needed that to do it.
I will give you that. But if she's just gonna photon blast him and that's gonna be it, like,
I'm not too worried about it, because I don't think that their plan is gonna be for her to just come in and just destroy Thanos effortlessly. Like, I think the MCU.
Because if they do that negates everybody's.
She's gonna be the most powerful. I think when people say like, when people hear, oh, she's going to be the most powerful, it just means that she's amongst the most powerful in the MCU. I don't think it just means that she's just going to like trample over everyone.
It's just hard to call someone all powerful and then make a movie where they don't really face any kind of.
Because I mean, she's not invincible. Like they said that she's the most powerful in the MCU, but I don't think that means that she's going to be like for example, Hulk. He's like one of the most strongest ones in the Avengers, right? But at the same time, people don't look toward him as like he's gonna stop everything. He's gonna be invincible, and he just plays his role. So I think
because they showed that within the first 5 minutes of Infinity War.
Yeah, they showed
because everyone was like, "Oh, the Hulk could go toe to toe," and Thanos just kicks his ass.
Yeah, that's part of the reason. Because like a lot of people ask like why they would just like introduce Captain Marvel now?
That's what I feel like they should have waited till after
the Thanos thing?
After Endgame. They should have launched
to introduce.
They should have.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense to me because if you think about it, like Kevin Feige has all his phases mapped out. And so he obviously wanted to do the whole Thanos thing, and I think if you have someone like Captain Marvel as
just
powerful,
come in at the end and just be like, "I'm here to save the day."
No, like
save the day.
What I'm saying is like he wanted to build up towards Thanos, and he wanted to show how powerful Thanos was, right? And he wanted to make Thanos a threat. Obviously, that's why in the opening of the movie he defeats Hulk to show how powerful he is. But like, think about it. He had to defeat Hulk. They had to have Thor stuck in space for most of the movie. Like, they balanced it out in terms of...
and now here comes Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, they balanced it out in terms of how powerful Thor is, but they didn't just want to have everyone... Like, for example, if all the Avengers were just all together at the same time, and they were just in front of... Because they pretty much almost got him when they were on that planet, and that was without Thor, that was without Hulk. So I think they did a good job at spacing, like, keeping characters away.
Too.
Who? Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why they almost got him. But, I mean, because I think if you just add a character like Captain Marvel to the mix, like, if Captain Marvel already existed... Yeah, because, like, if you're just going to put... Yeah, like, are you going to keep her away like you did with Thor? Like, then that'd be another factor. So you're saying
how they implement her in the plan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm saying, like... if you have a character as powerful, like, and you want to have Thor succeed, what are you gonna do? Keep her away, like they did with Thor? Are you gonna? It's just another thing you gotta write. I don't know. I like the storytelling of like, you know, the last beacon of hope, the last resort they call Captain Marvel. That's just my opinion, but I think it makes sense. Like they have Thor win the day because, you know, one of the most powerful heroes isn't there. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Depends how you look at it. But, yeah. I think if you see Captain Marvel, it makes more sense. Because it makes more sense to you. Because if you just go into Endgame, you're like, wow, where was this chick before, you know? But if you see Captain Marvel, then you'd be like,
well, oh, she was before.
Well, she was helping the what do they call it? The Skrulls, like find new civilization, like fighting for new civilizations.
Okay, that's kind of another thing. But even though it's so predictable, you could tell that she was fighting for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't predict
that was kind of cool.
I didn't predict the Kree being bad though. I think that was like a twist for me.
Any movie that has to do any movie, and this is
like I thought the Skrulls. I never read the comics though.
Oh, I have never read a Captain Marvel comic. I'm aware.
Like the whole time, I thought the Skrulls were bad.
I'm aware. I'm pretty sure that they like are, but I can't say for sure because I'm not well versed in
the comic books and stuff.
The comics, but in the movie.
Did you see them being good though? like did you see that switch happen?
I was gonna say not in every movie, but this is more of a generalization. I feel like that if you watch a lot of movies, anytime there's like amnesia and you're like this all powerful thing, it's usually because somebody found you and
trying to trick you or whatever.
Trick you. I can't think of an example off my bat. I just feel like that's like a cliche. That's like if you forget where Memento. He's trying to find out who the killer is.
Oh, Memento.
Who's the killer?
But for the average moviegoer, I don't think the average moviegoer like saw the twist. I don't know.
But I mean,
because I don't really hear that as a big complaint, so I wouldn't say that the average moviegoer wouldn't
see that
wouldn't see it coming.
That they're fighting for she's fighting for the wrong.
Yeah.
But also, like, who else is she gonna? There was really no big, like, threat.
Like villain?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's like who
I guess,
else is she gonna fight?
I guess it.
Unless you, if you're not familiar, like I said, I'm not that familiar either.
I think it's
like,
more of an identity.
You thought
movie.
she was gonna fight a bunch of Skrulls who are like super powerful, but she just ends up fighting Jude Law, which she doesn't even fight Jude Law. She fucking photon blasts him, and that's it. Sends him back to space.
Well, she fights the rest of the Kree that like try to stop
them.
That's not a
fight. That's just her.
Well, it's not a villain.
She blew him up. She blew him up instantly.
I think during the movie,
she flies into space and blows him up.
I think during the movie, like in the beginning, you're in the mindset that the Kree are the villain. Like
the villain.
Like there are segments in which villains are assigned, but there isn't like an overarching one villain.
Like there's not going to be the one person she has to face at the end.
Yeah, there's not like.
You didn't even get that when they were sparring, when she was sparring with Jude Law, and he was like, "Fight me without your powers," and she tried to still use her powers.
Yeah,
and he said,
"I felt like there might have been like
you didn't see that she was gonna
fight him at the end."
I would have liked.
Well, that what you were saying earlier, if you think about it, that scene also connects to that other scene where she just blasts him, because I think. In that first scene, like she's limited, and so she can't take him on, and then like that's her arc is that she learns who she is. She learns that she doesn't need the limiter. That because I forgot, what do they tell her that she needs the limiter for? Like there's some reason that she keeps the limiter on. And,
it's probably because
that's one of the things. Like she realizes that she can use her full potential
and just fuck everybody up.
And that's why, like when he's like, "Now fight me without all the flashy stuff," and then she just blasts him. She's like, no, "I don't need."
I would have liked it if she did.
If she took it off and was able to
just go hand to hand with him
to beat him,
that would have been cool. I would have enjoyed the movie, but I don't know if Jude Law does like action scenes like that. You know,
I think he can. Well, he did the first segment. The first segment was pretty.
Thing?
Yeah.
I would have asked for it to be a little more intense, to be honest.
The first one?
Like if he had powers too, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But then it would have just be like, oh, he's another Marvel movie villain, which I would have been okay with, to be honest. I know Marvel has a kind of.
They're getting better with their villains.
Yeah, kind of weak track. Well, I feel like there wasn't really. Oh, I don't want to say there really wasn't a villain, but. It was more like, and you're right, it was an identity movie. She was like, "Who am I?" But I just wish
I kind of relate it to because like in this movie, the whole purpose is just to lay the groundwork of who she is, and like when I think of that, I just think of like James Bond, Casino Royale, because in Casino Royale, like they had like a villain and everything, but like if you think about it, like he just kind of gets screwed over. And he just becomes cold-hearted because, like, that chick, like, double crosses him.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
she doesn't become cold-hearted.
Who, the girl?
The Captain Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel?
Yeah, she realizes
what I'm saying is that
can fight for what she wants now.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that James Bond in Casino Royale, he becomes who James Bond is. Like, he becomes more stern. Yeah. He's kind of more in the mindset of, like, women are disposable, kind of, because he still has like love interests in every movie, but like he becomes James Bond, like the more stern James Bond.
He becomes the James Bond you're gonna see for the
rest of the thing, yeah. And so I'm saying
he's contracted for.
Yeah, and so I'm saying I think in this Captain Marvel is just for her to like find out what her mindset and her identity and all that stuff.
But like I said, I just wish that she would have had been developed a little more in terms of like her flashbacks and not just
her flashbacks and
not just her falling. I mean, like she falls and she always gets back up, but like hasn't that already been done a million times? Life's not about how hard you get hit; it's about how hard you can get hit and keep going.
I mean, it has, but
I just didn't.
Every movie's the same.
I know, but
different. It didn't work for you.
It didn't work for me.
Didn't work for you.
It didn't work for me with Captain Marvel, even though it's so and Marvel has a formula which it works for them. Sometimes it's hit or miss, Like Thor 2. I know some people didn't like Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange.
I like Doctor Strange.
Even though it was kind of just like
I didn't like Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 I thought was okay. I thought Iron Man 3 was also okay. Even the first Thor I thought was okay. The first Captain America, if I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was alright. I like Winter Soldier a lot better. I do like Winter Soldier a lot better. I love Civil War. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I just didn't think this origin story for Captain Marvel really did it for me.
For sure.
I don't know.
I think part of it
they could have done better. I think they could have done a whole lot better. And then it was bogged down by all these comments she made, and which if you're a fucking beta neckbeard male, like of course you're gonna get mad. 30% of people wanted to go see it. That I'm not saying completely attributed to these people who are trying to attack the film. I would say just go see it first.
Yeah.
And then make your opinion. And I know some people who went to go see it were already concerned about Brie Larson because how just stale she looked. And it's for good reason that you should be not concerned, but if you don't want to see the movie, then that's fine, because also what you mentioned earlier, like, why are we doing Captain Marvel now when Endgame is a month away and everybody is ready for Endgame? I would have liked for them.
I mean, if they're gonna do Captain Marvel
after Endgame.
Oh, after Endgame.
Give us the year break. Give us the year break. Let everybody sit and wait in anticipation to see how they're gonna stop.
I think it'll be good though, because I think they've been sitting in the drawing boards for long enough with Captain Marvel. Yeah, because I mean, if Kevin Feige has like all these movies planned out, like he's had it on his mind how Captain Marvel's gonna come in and be an Endgame, and I think I don't think it's like a spur of the moment, like let's just add her in.
Let's just throw Captain Marvel.
Yeah, if anything, at least I know that there's been like planning behind it. I don't know. Maybe it'll make more sense when the movie comes out, when Endgame comes out, but yeah.
I don't know. That's my one concern for Endgame, is that they don't just throw her in there and be like, you're gonna save everybody. Because we already have a powerful
You got Thor, you got characters.
Hulk. I know that's also one of some people's complaints. Scarlet Witch was supposed to be...
She almost did it too?
Yeah. She held them off and killed her lover.
At the same time, I think that Captain Marvel will be a good asset because half of their team is gone. So I think they need to make up for that.
I also see, this is also another proponent to my argument that they should have waited till after, because we've had 10 years with these characters, and now this is going to be the end. Why introduce somebody at the very end and try and make them
who's brand new and stuff?
Who's brand new?
Well, I know that was the
introduce them and be like, well, now you're part of the team.
Yeah.
The dynamic, the screenwriters, I think
that's why they gave her a solo movie. Well, if you think about it, like think about Black Panther. Like he was just thrown into Civil War before his solo movie.
But he was done right. That was done right. That was good. That was done in a
again different
way.
Opinions.
You didn't think that was like
well? I mean,
smart.
what you're saying is
should have given him a solo movie first.
Well,
then introduce him in.
Yeah, I think that's.
You think they're doing like reverse Black
Well, what you're saying.
Give her the movie first, then throw her into an Avengers movie.
Well, I thought what you're saying is like, why just throw somebody randomly in there? But they've been doing that for a while. They've done it with Spider-Man, Black Panther.
There was hints
of Black Panther.
That Black Panther exists.
Was gonna go in there.
Not gonna be in the movie, but that Wakanda exists.
But they have the post-credit scene in Infinity War that shows Captain Marvel. I don't know. I feel like this is more of an introduction than other characters have gotten as far as like justice to a character. Because like we've got the post-credit scene in Infinity War, then her own movie to flesh her out, and then boom, now she's with the Avengers. But with other people, it's just like, let's throw in Spider-Man. Now he's part of the team.
That's like, but like no one's complaining about that.
Now let's give her the...
No one's complaining about Spider-Man. But everybody loves Spider-Man, obviously.
I know. But I mean, Spider-Man's a well-known character, so nobody will complain about it.
Complain.
Black Panther, nobody complained about it, but he's not a well-known character either.
That was an unprecedented deal.
I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest, for me. Because I don't know, they've done it both ways with different types of characters. Like Spider-Man's well known, they just threw him in. Black Panther's not well known, they just threw him in.
What do you mean Black Panther's not well known?
For the average movie-going audience, like people don't know Black Panther like that, or like Doctor Strange.
I'll give you that argument that, you know, in terms of people just going to see. But
like that's not a household name, Black Panther.
Our average moviegoers, the main audience that are going to see, maybe
for the most part, yeah.
You don't think that you don't think that comic book fans and people who love this shit, breathe this shit, eat this shit are like the ones going to see these movies?
They are, but
you don't think they make up a good portion of them?
They make up a good portion, but in terms of like, if you're talking about box office numbers, like the majority comes from just like families, people who just want to go to the movies.
Just go see Captain Marvel.
Yeah, like if you go to a movie theater and you tell all the comic book readers to stand up, like there's probably going to be far less than the people who are just there.
Who are
just see the movie.
Just to see the movie.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess you could look at it both ways in terms of like,
like
throwing this person. No, I'm saying like in terms of like throwing the hero just in there. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they've done it
My only
both ways.
With Black Panther being in Civil War was that like in Black Panther he wasn't like the Black Panther.
He wasn't like the big hero or whatever.
No, not like the big hero. Like. Was he the Black Panther before Civil War, or just?
He was already established. Like he was already. Well, his dad.
He wasn't king.
Oh, he wasn't king. Yeah, because his dad was still alive. Yeah.
And Black Panther takes place after Civil War.
Yeah, so he wasn't.
So that's my only.
But I mean, he was still introduced. Like he was still in there.
I'm talking more details than anything.
Yeah, I feel you.
That was my only complaint, but I just thought that was a good touch. It was like Avengers 2.5.
But yeah, I mean, I guess like what you're saying, like throwing this character, but at least they had a solo movie though.
But it's not
to introduce them.
It's not okay. It is hers. Oh my god, it's just hard to see. Like, who did she lose?
Who did she lose? Like
that's like close to her.
In the movie?
No, like when Thanos. So like, who did she?
Oh,
I'm sure they might address it. Like,
I think they'll address it because like the snap affected like the whole universe.
It was.
So I'm thinking like the Kree.
I just care more about the Avengers cast at this point because, like I said, we've had 10 years to see them go through the respective.
That's why I'm waiting to see what they do.
And they're fighting. Obviously, they were split up, but they were fighting with everybody came together to do this.
Yeah.
And even if, you know, they didn't know each other well, like, each character on their own, like, essentially lost somebody.
Yeah.
She didn't lose, that we know of. And now I feel like
but I think
it's like their story. Like, not fucking Captain Marvel's.
Yeah.
To just come in and it would be hard for me to, like, think that not hard for me to believe that she like cares that half the universe was wiped out because that's a major.
I think she had a lot of friends like in the Kree too.
That's what I'm saying.
And it would decades passed too, so
it would be hard for me to just be like have it thrown away where she's like I was with.
So you're worried about?
I was with my best friend.
Yeah.
When it happened.
Maybe her best friend disappeared.
The other pilot.
Oh no, but that was back then. But she's still alive.
Yeah, but there's been, like you said, it's been like a
couple decades
past time where.
So you're worried. You're worried that they'll focus too much on Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. Yeah,
and take away from like the actual people who have been with us for so long.
Yeah, I think they'll do a good job because like if this is like
they balance Infinity War really really well, so that's why I'm like kind of.
I think if they can balance Infinity War really well, and then this movie is supposed to be like the end of like an era. Like all the movies after this is going to be completely different, like a whole new start, a whole new chapter. So I'm thinking they are going to focus more on the people we already know because that was the writers actually for Infinity War. They asked them in an interview once about Adam Warlock, and they're like, you know what, guys. we didn't feel he'd be an important part in Infinity War as a character.
I mean, in the comics he is, but
yeah, in the comics he is.
They just teased him.
Yeah, they just kind of teased him, but they were just like, you know, you guys are gonna have to watch the people that you guys already know and love, like, you know, go up against Thanos. So I'm thinking that'll be the same mindset, especially if this is a closing phase. Like, they have to put attention toward people like Tony Stark's character, Captain America, because I think some people might die, obviously.
They should. I think people should die.
That's why I think Captain Marvel is just going to be kind of like a key role, like a key figure. Like, she probably knows something or has something key, but the Avengers will work with her.
I feel like Ant-Man should be more important.
Yeah, Ant-Man too, because
I feel like Ant-Man has a bigger role than what's been led to believe.
Yeah, because he was gone in the quantum realm.
He's gone in the quantum realm.
So I'm wondering if they'll use something there.
He has knowledge of that nobody else has. Maybe Captain Marvel knows about the quantum realm because she's fucking all powerful.
Yeah,
but I feel like Ant-Man,
and it shows them all working together in the trailers. They haven't really marketed Captain America for. Captain Marvel.
I hope he gets his due on. Not like okay, that's kind of sounds bad, but I really hope. I don't know. I hope he dies.
Like poetically?
Yes. I hope he fucking dies.
Like you like him, but you would enjoy a good poetic death.
Yeah, he needs to die.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know how I feel as far as deaths.
One of the big Avengers has to die. My theory was that.
But they keep bringing people back.
I know. All right, well, let's think about it. They killed everybody essentially that was gonna have a sequel. Come back.
Yeah, that's how you know everyone's gonna come back. Everyone knows
so
that.
Now let's just, if you're gonna focus on the next phase, then fucking let the past die. Kill it if you have to. But in a poetic way. I honestly believe that they would. For Captain America, kill him. Fuck it, kill him. I don't care. Kill him. I mean,
you would rather him than
I would rather
Tony
him
Stark.
Die. I feel like for Tony Stark,
I feel like he's just so valuable.
Boy, for time,
he's like the big money face of the MCU.
It's time to see if the MCU can withstand without Robert Downey Jr. And I think it can. I think it will be as successful.
I think they've already built the groundwork for it to continue.
So let's focus on everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not over like Tony Stark and them, but let's give someone else a shot. If we're gonna keep going, it's time to fucking focus on these other characters and just don't make them shitty characters. So honestly, I think they'll kill Captain America.
We still got to do my review, by the
way. they'll retire him some way somehow, but they won't kill him. But I give it. What's our scale? I was thinking we should do like grades from like F to A plus.
See, I'm not that type of guy. Like, I like just talking about it and saying if I would recommend it. Give like positive, negative. I'll do it for the sake of it, but
well, then I wouldn't recommend it.
You would not recommend it?
I would not recommend it.
To the average moviegoer.
To the average moviegoer.
I mean, if you like the MCU,
I would say if you just want to go because you want to like see what happens and like be comfortable with Captain Marvel being an Endgame, I would say go check it out. It's not gonna wow you. But if you're like into the MCU,
I don't think it's
skip it. You could skip it.
Yeah,
nothing too crazy happens.
I'll go over mine when I'm done with mine, because I don't want to like spoil my thing.
But to the average moviegoer, I would say go ahead. But if you like the MCU, you can just forget about this one and just wait till next month.
For sure.
For Endgame.
Would you recommend? So you're saying, because we're talking about saving people from time and money, would you recommend people watch it like on Netflix, DVD? Would you recommend people put their time toward it like later on, or no? Like if it's on Netflix.
If it's on Netflix and you're like, oh, I haven't seen this, might as well check it out. Okay. Then yeah, I would say go ahead and check it out. If there's, if you like missed this one, you're like, oh, I haven't seen this one, let me go back and just check it out. Then yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, I'm gonna go over mine. Pull up my notes. So I'm gonna start with the cons. Some cons first, and then I'm gonna try to end off a positive note. So cons, like I was saying earlier, for Captain Marvel, some of the emotional moments I feel like didn't feel as powerful. Like they kind of felt forced. Like when she visited her friend, I felt like it kind of felt like too much too soon, and it was just like, oh, okay, they're having some friend drama. But it didn't. I think the chemistry with her and her friend wasn't. It didn't really seem there for me. So I think that's a big part of a movie is to have you emotionally invested, but I just didn't. It didn't hit that hard for me. Also, I think this movie, like you were saying, like the colors and stuff, the blast, like, you know, they look really good. I felt like it had a lot of potential to have its own look and style, kind of like Thor Ragnarok, but I don't think it did. Like it was kind of bland.
Generic.
Yeah.
Like her attacks and stuff were generic.
Well, I don't know. I'm just talking about like the general, you know, the look and style of the movie. Sometimes it looked kind of boring. Sometimes it looked pretty stylish. I feel like it didn't really find itself too well in the movie. Because when you think of Guardians of the Galaxy as opposed to like Iron Man, like you have two different visual styles that you think of. But this movie kind of feels a lot more in between, not really fully fleshed, you know what I mean? So yeah, that'd be one thing I'd say for, that'd be one other thing I'd feel for the thing. I'll probably move toward middle ground because this one is kind of a con for me, but I think it can be improved. And I also don't know if it's because of certain story reasons, but it would be Brie Larson's performance. Because, like you were saying, she seemed a bit stale and not as charismatic as like the other heroes in the MCU, like a Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Pratt. But I think it's because like a lot of the movie, like she doesn't really know who she is, so she doesn't have that much personality because she just like doesn't know anything.
I feel you. That makes sense.
But so I feel like, and I feel like some of the comedy they gave her was not like the best jokes in the MCU. Like they didn't give her like the best dialogue. Like she kind of had a lot of like 1-2 liners that didn't really stick that much. I felt like she could pull it off if they gave her like a little bit better material, but I feel like everything was kind of light for the most part for her. But yeah, so as far as her performance, because I think when she gets her powers, she gets a little bit more like snarky. But even then, like I said, like some of the dialogue just didn't work for when she's supposed to be like, you know, confident and more have herself figured out. So I have to see how they write her, and because when she comes back in Endgame,
she's gonna be interacting with.
Yeah, she's gonna be interacting with people, but also all these decades have passed, so I'm assuming she's kind of gotten a little bit more character.
Has like come into her own.
Yeah, come into her own. So yeah, so I'm not sure if part of her stale performance came from that whole identity thing, because she started a little bit coming to her own, and I feel like maybe the time between that and Endgame she'll have a more fleshed out personality. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm kind of in the middle. I have to see how her story unfolds in the MCU. Some pros. I know I had some more cons. I got to think of them, but I'll just move on to the pros for now. The de-aging I thought was really good for like Samuel Jackson.
Oh yeah, that was well done. It didn't look too uncanny.
Yeah, like it wasn't hard to look at. Like it looked natural.
It was easy on the eyes.
Yeah. What I liked was Samuel Jackson's like his progression as a character. Like this movie takes place before like they have all those heroes in S.H.I.E.L.D. And he still seemed like he was not new to the Force, but like he hasn't seen everything yet.
Yeah.
And he was kind of reacting to everything, which I think is consistent with his character, because eventually he becomes, you know, that stern guy, Nick Fury. So I think it was pretty cool to see him act a little bit different. And it was consistent to,
like
I guess,
rookie almost.
Yeah, it was consistent to how he would act pre Avengers and stuff. But yeah,
post Iron Man.
Yeah, pre Iron Man post credits. Another pro. I liked how correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first MCU origin story that's non-linear. You know what I mean? Because we don't really see how she gets her powers until like the middle of the movie and stuff. Because I think most of the MCU origin stories movies,
they show you almost immediately.
Yeah, from
Not
beginning
almost immediately, but
yeah, from like beginning to end.
Here's who they are for 10 minutes. Here's how they get their powers, and here's how they
like Iron Man.
Here's how they use.
He got his powers, blah blah blah. Captain America got his powers. I think they did this movie like in Origins, because right now they haven't been doing too many origin stories, have they?
No.
Not too much. So I think this
Black Panther was the last one.
Yeah, so I think this one was kind of like a throwback / nod to like the original like Iron Man, Captain America. So I think that's why they did it this way. I'm not sure. And yeah, I like the non-linear fashion. I think it's the first one they did like that. As far as nostalgia, 90s, I think some people were worried that they would overdo it, but I don't think they overdid it.
I honestly
think they sprinkled it out pretty good. That it was 90s?
That it was in the 90s.
Yeah, that's how much they don't overdo it. They probably could have done it even more, in my opinion. Could have sprinkled some more 90s nostalgia. But I don't know, maybe they didn't want to take it away from the movie. I mean, all the music tracks are 90s tracks in the fight scenes. So that's pretty cool, I guess. The comedy, I don't typically like MCU comedy. I think it's kind of cheesy. Well, I think it's amusing. Like, I think it's fun. Like, if I'm watching a movie, like, yeah, like, I'll appreciate it.
There are some misplaced.
I won't laugh out loud.
There's some misplaced jokes. MCU.
Yeah, like some of it. Like, I don't like a lot of the Spider-Man jokes they do for Tom Holland. I think a lot of them are kind of cheesy, and it just makes him feel clueless. Like, more clueless than he should be.
Okay, well, that I'll give you that one.
So yeah, I enjoyed the comedy in this a little bit more than other MCU movies.
I didn't like Nick Fury's. Like, it seemed like every time he would talk to the cat, it was like overkill.
Like overkill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, do people really like cats this much?
I enjoyed the cat. I'm a fan of the dynamic between him and the cat. I think they might have did, because, you know, he picks up the cat and he starts playing with it. I think they might have done it maybe, I don't know, for example, let's say they did it 5 times. I think they would have been better off with 4 or 3. Like, I think they just did it like 1 too many
times.
Well, yeah, like 1 more too many times. I think it could have been maybe a little less. It's not a big.
It's really not a big deal. I was just like, do people like?
But I enjoy it.
He's about this cat a lot.
Yeah. Goose. I guess he was in the comics, but he had a different name. Mm-hmm. The cat. I also like the dynamic between him and Larson. It kind of made it feel like a buddy cop movie at times. So I would say overall that was pretty good. What else did I have on here? Oh, the Stan Lee opening.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about the Stan Lee opening. Rest in peace. But yeah, it was super dope to see Stan Lee in the opening logo. That was pretty cool. Also, his cameo.
It was just pure Stan Lee as opposed to the normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the heroes.
And
his cameo in the movie. Cameo. So in the cameo in his movie, I don't know if you know, but he's reading I think he's reading his book that he's reading says Mallrats on it. And like he was in a movie by Kevin Smith. And he had a part in that movie as a comic book guru. And that's what he played in that movie.
Because that movie came out in
the 90s. So it was consistent. Kevin Smith had a really good relationship with Stan Lee. Because I actually went to the Stan Lee memorial celebration they did at Chinese Theater. Kevin Smith hosted it. So I kind of learned a little. That scene was bigger for me because I kind of learned more about the relationship between Kevin Smith and Stan Lee. So when I saw that scene, I was like, oh man, he's gonna appreciate that. And like, I think Kevin Smith posted on Instagram, he was like crying because like I guess like when he first saw it, like it hit him. I guess he didn't know that it was there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That Stan Lee was pretty much himself. He was reading the script for Mallrats that he was in the 90s. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see, what else do I have for pros? I think that pretty much wraps it up. I like the story. Like if you just take the story for what it was, just like on paper, like I think it's a good story. Yeah, overall good movie. There was a lot of drama with like Brie Larson, but there was also a lot of fake headlines though that like put words in her mouth, and so like people got angry and they're like, let's boycott this movie. So like literally there were people who just stood up till midnight to give it like rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. So there's that. But there are better review sites like CinemaScore. I think it actually has an A, CinemaScore on their audience.
What's the Metacritic
reviews.
score?
The Metacritics? I'll check that in a second. But yes, because CinemaScore, the way they do their reviews, they actually know if you've seen the movie. Like right after you walk out of the movie, that's how like they get their submissions. Like they know that the people who are doing the reviews have seen it. Yeah, so it's not just like how Rotten Tomatoes is, where like if there's an agenda involved, people can just stay up till midnight and like click rotten. So, because usually Rotten Tomatoes is trustworthy, but when there's something like that, then you can't really trust the audience score, because they got more reviews in at midnight than like Infinity War did like its whole run or something like that, and they had to like get rid of a lot of stuff on the site because of that. But yeah, so
my final point though, here's a question that we haven't talked about, and
let's get to it. But before we get to it, I think the movie is worth the watch. I would put it
to who?
I mean, definitely for general moviegoers, it's worth the watch. Like it's got the funny stuff. It's got the action. It's got I think the pros outweigh the cons enough for it to be worth the watch for average moviegoers, for MCU fans. At least watch this movie once. I think I would be down to see the movie again, but I probably won't be popping it in like a dozen times. But I enjoy the movie. I'll definitely see it again at one point because I want to get a more rounded opinion of it. I would put it as like a mid-tier Marvel movie. I wouldn't put it as bad as like an Iron Man 2 or like, one of those first lower MCU movies. I wouldn't put it on the bottom shelf. Maybe I'd put it how, there's the bottom shelf and then there's the middle. Maybe I'd put it a little bit underneath, like right below the middle shelf, but still part of the middle. Yeah. That's where I would go.
Lower middle class.
Yeah. I give it a positive review.
I feel you.
What were we going to say?
Nick Fury naming the Avengers after her.
After her?
Yeah.
What do you mean? When was this?
The very last scene.
Are they talking about when
he's writing the Protector Initiative, and then he looks at her picture and it says Carol Avenger Danvers.
Oh, see? That's why I need to see it again, because I don't remember that.
I immediately thought, fuck that. Immediately.
Dude, anytime.
Immediately. I was like, no, fuck that, bro. Who does she avenge? No.
Is it like that in the comic book?
I don't know. I don't think the Avengers were named after Captain Marvel, because the Avengers have been around for like ever. That's why I said I don't know.
No, but Captain Marvel has been around for forever too.
But Captain Marvel also used to be a dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
The original comic started a while back.
My first thought was fuck that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could maybe see it because the comic book avenges the Skrulls.
If it happened in the comic books, like I guess you would have to appreciate something like that.
Yeah, I mean I don't know, but my first thought was fuck that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I felt no sense of avenging at all from her.
Was that like her? Was that part of
her call sign?
Was that part of the not the Kree? Was that part of like their uniform or whatever?
What event? No, it was. He was writing the thing. It's very end of the movie. He's like writing the thing, and it says Protector Initiative, and then he like looks at a picture of her like getting into her jet, and on the jet, it says Carol.
Avenger.
It says Carol Avenger Danvers.
Like it's part of her name.
Yeah, that's like a call sign, I guess.
Her call sign.
Because she's a pilot.
I mean,
I'm like, who did she avenge?
well, I mean, if it's just her call sign, I don't know. I mean, at first reaction, I think it's kind of cool because it's like, oh, they got it from a fighter jet name or whatever, like, and then they just used it.
Yeah.
From like a nostalgic point of view, like I think it's kind of cool, but yeah, I don't know because I would have to see how it is in the comics and stuff. Because if it lines up right, then I guess I can't really complain. But that's a hard thing to get right, though.
I have no. Just don't mention it at all.
The origins of the Avengers name.
Yeah, they're just the Avengers.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
because bro, if they can't save the Earth, you can bet damn well that they're gonna avenge it.
They're all named after Captain Marvel.
Gay.
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 I sustain it. I go fund me it.
You go fund it. I don't know. If you maybe I'll also look into it and see and get brushed up on Avengers history. If by chance like that's the reason, then you know what, I'll give it a pass.
Then you just kind of got to respect it, you know?
Yeah, but as of just going based off of MCU alone, yeah, fuck that.
For sure.
Fuck that. So you would recommend it? I wouldn't recommend it. We're split down the middle, essentially.
We're split down the middle.
We agree
I recommend it. I think it's a good positive film.
We disagree on some things.
It's got its cons for sure. It definitely has its cons.
I guess I'm more
I just think the pros outweigh it.
And you're more focused on the pros.
Yeah. So would you say the cons outweigh the pros then? I mean, I guess you could still say the pros outweigh the cons, but still not recommended, I guess.
I just think the cons were more...
They were too much. They were too big of cons?
Yeah.
Maybe they were less cons, but they were too big?
Yeah. They weren't a lot, but what was present, I just didn't allow me to fully enjoy Captain Marvel.
Fully enjoy the experience, yeah.
Yeah. I definitely thought they could have changed some things, maybe expanded on some things, but yeah, the cons, we can call it, they're very, kind of few cons, but what was there was just too much. For me, at least. In the grand scheme of the entire MCU up until next month.
For sure.
When that's it.
I think a good way to judge this movie is like, if you go see this movie and, all right, let's say you saw the movie, you got your opinion of it, and like somebody hits you up to go see it because they haven't seen it and they want you to come, like ask yourself if you would be, like if you have the reaction like, oh, okay, I gotta sit through that again, then yeah, you probably don't like it. But if you're just like, yeah, well, I'll watch it again, then you're probably more positive on it. I think so. Sense. But yeah, that's my review. That's your review.
And that's the review.
That's the review. We're going to call it a day. Go see it or go not see it.
You have one of two choices. Wait for it to come out.
Those are our recommendations.
Recommendations. Come back. I think the next one, the big one, going to be Us.
Us, yeah. Looking forward to it.
I'm also looking forward to it. So make sure to do all that jazz. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be putting out some more videos here. If you haven't already checked out some of the other content we have, go ahead and give that a view. And if you like it, you like it. If not, then I'm pretty sure you'll find something you like on the internet.
Eventually.
So thanks for joining us today. My name's Jeremiah.
My name's Ariel.
And we will catch you guys later.